Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever felt that someone in your life wasn't just against you, but was actively working to see you fail? Not with open confrontation, but with quiet, calculated moves. Hatred is loud, it burns hot and fast. But true destruction? That is something far more dangerous. It is patient. It is precise. And it often comes from places you least expect. Today, we are going to uncover 5 undeniable signs that someone doesn't just dislike you, they are plotting to erase your presence, your reputation, and your confidence. If you recognize these signs, you are already one step ahead. Because the only thing more dangerous than a hidden enemy is one you never saw coming. The hidden smile of malice. Not every enemy comes with a scowl, a raised voice, or an obvious grudge. Some of the most dangerous individuals walk among us wearing the mask of kindness, hiding their true intentions behind polite words and well-timed gestures. They don't just want to oppose you, they want to infiltrate your trust, making sure that when they finally strike, you never saw it coming. This is the difference between a person who merely hates you and someone who seeks to dismantle you. Hate is reactive, emotional, often expressed in anger or confrontation, but destruction requires patience and deception. A person with malice in their heart will not start by attacking you directly. They will start by positioning themselves in your life in a way that makes you lower your guard. They might offer help, advice, or even friendship, slowly making themselves a presence in your world. At first, their support may seem genuine, even beneficial, but in reality, every word, every action is carefully calculated to serve their long-term goal, your downfall. One of the most chilling aspects of this type of person is their ability to manipulate perception, not just yours, but also the way others see you. They might subtly undermine your confidence, making you doubt your instincts, your worth, or your abilities. They disguise their discouragement as concern. Are you sure you're ready for this? Maybe you should wait. Or they plant small seeds of doubt in the minds of those around you. I don't want to say anything bad about them, but have you noticed how they've been acting lately? These statements seem harmless in isolation, but over time they build a picture of uncertainty and suspicion. The most dangerous part of a person who operates this way is that they are not easily exposed. They do not make rash moves or emotional outbursts. Instead, they are patient, controlled, and precise. When confronted, they often appear confused or hurt, making it difficult to hold them accountable. They may even position themselves as the victim, making you question whether you were imagining their deceit all along. So how do you recognize them? Look beyond their words to their patterns. Do they always seem to be around when things go wrong? Do they position themselves as the reasonable one while making you seem unstable or unreliable? Do they offer advice that subtly discourages you rather than empowers you? If the answer is yes, then you are not dealing with someone who simply dislikes you, you are dealing with someone who is playing a long game of control and sabotage. The hidden smile of malice is perhaps the most dangerous weapon of all, because when destruction is wrapped in kindness, it's not just hard to fight back, it's hard to even see it coming. The puppeteer's game. A person who wants to destroy you will rarely act alone. Instead of direct confrontation, they prefer to manipulate others into doing their work for them. They don't attack you outright. They pull the strings from behind the scenes, orchestrating events, twisting narratives, and turning people against you while keeping their own hands clean. This is what makes them so dangerous. Unlike an ordinary rival who may challenge you openly, a true destroyer understands that real damage is done in whispers, in subtle suggestions, in the gradual poisoning of your reputation. They don't need to attack your character directly. Instead, they plant doubts in the minds of others, encouraging misunderstandings and feeding existing insecurities. They use carefully chosen words like, "I don't know if this is true, but I heard," or "I used to respect them, but lately something feels off." These statements are not accusations. They are invitations for others to start questioning you on their own. This kind of person operates like a shadow, staying just far enough in the background that their influence is hard to trace. They never seem to be the source of conflict, yet somehow conflict follows you wherever they go. If you begin to notice that trusted friends are suddenly distant, colleagues are skeptical of your work, or rumors about you appear without warning, ask yourself, who benefits from this? Who is quietly gaining favor while you lose ground? What makes the puppeteer's game so devastating is that it forces you into a defensive position. Once people begin to doubt you, every attempt to clear your name can look like guilt. The more you try to explain yourself, the more it seems like you have something to hide. This is the trap they set, not by attacking you directly, but by creating an environment where you feel isolated, mistrusted, and powerless. So how do you break free from the strings? First, recognize the pattern. Pay attention to the inconsistencies. If you notice that misunderstandings and conflicts always seem to involve the same person, yet they never take the blame, you may have found your puppeteer. Second, do not engage in their game. The more you fight back against whispers, the more you legitimize them. Instead, let your actions speak louder than their words. Stay grounded, keep your composure, and refuse to let their tactics dictate your behavior. Most importantly, strengthen your true connections. A puppeteer thrives in an environment of uncertainty, where people are easily influenced. But when you build strong, honest relationships, their ability to manipulate others diminishes. Transparency and consistency are your greatest weapons against someone who operates in shadows. The puppeteer's game is not about quick destruction. It's about slow, steady erosion. But remember this, they only succeed if you give them control. The moment you recognize the strings, you take away their power. The venom of persistence. Hatred can be impulsive, an emotional reaction that flares up and dies down. But destruction, true destruction, requires commitment. A person who wants to see you fall doesn't act out of momentary anger. They act with purpose, patience, and persistence. They don't just strike once and walk away. They keep coming back again and again, ensuring that every step you take forward is met with resistance. This is one of the clearest signs that someone is not simply your opponent, but your saboteur. Their actions are not random, and they are never truly done with you. Perhaps you've noticed that every time you make progress, an unexpected setback arises. An opportunity slips through your fingers. A misunderstanding arises at the worst possible moment. A person who truly wants to destroy you is relentless, working behind the scenes to make sure you never gain enough stability to thrive. What makes their tactics so dangerous is that they are often subtle. They don't always launch obvious attacks. Instead, they might undermine you in small but consistent ways, questioning your capabilities in front of others, highlighting your mistakes while ignoring your successes, or ensuring that important people in your life view you with growing suspicion. The goal is not just to defeat you, it is to exhaust you, to make you feel like you are constantly fighting a battle that never ends. They might attempt to wear you down emotionally as well. Their persistence is designed to make you doubt yourself, to make you wonder if you are the problem. When you start questioning your own abilities, your own worth, and even your own reality, they have already won half the battle. They don't just want to see you fail, they want you to be the one who gives up. But here's what they don't expect: your resilience. A person who is determined to destroy you relies on your exhaustion, your frustration, your willingness to walk away. They want you to feel alone, overwhelmed, and unsupported. That is why your best defense is endurance. Recognize their persistence for what it is, a strategy, not a reflection of your worth. If they keep coming back, it's because they see something in you that threatens them. The antidote to their venom is clarity and consistency. Do not allow their repeated efforts to shake your confidence. Stay focused on your path and refuse to let their tactics dictate your actions. People who seek to destroy others often rely on chaos and confusion to succeed. When you remain steady, when you refuse to be baited into unnecessary battles, you strip them of their greatest weapon. Remember this: persistence works both ways. If they are relentless in their attacks, you must be relentless in your pursuit of truth, strength, and success. They may try to slow you down, but only you decide whether or not you stop. The whispered lies and stolen truths. One of the most insidious ways a person tries to destroy you is not by attacking you directly, but by reshaping the way the world sees you. They understand that in many cases perception is more powerful than reality. If they can control the narrative about you, twisting your words, distorting your actions, or spreading subtle half-truths, they don't need to lift a finger to bring you down. They simply let the weight of false perception do the work for them. This is the art of deception at its finest. Unlike an open enemy, who might confront you in public or challenge you outright, this type of person operates in whispers. They do not make grand accusations. Instead, they plant small seeds of doubt and let them grow over time. They say things like, "I don't know if this is true, but I used to admire them, but lately something feels off. I wouldn't say this myself, but some people think they're not as trustworthy as they seem." None of these statements are direct attacks, yet they all accomplish the same thing. They encourage others to see you in a different light, to question your integrity, your motives, and your character. And the most dangerous part? You often don't realize it's happening until it's too late. When you begin to notice people treating you differently, colleagues hesitating to collaborate, friends acting distant, opportunities suddenly slipping through your fingers, it might not be bad luck. It might be the result of a carefully crafted lie, one that has taken root in the minds of those around you. This method of destruction is particularly cruel because it strips you of control. When someone whispers a falsehood about you, you are forced into a defensive position. The more you try to deny or disprove it, the more it seems like you have something to hide. This is the trap they set, not just to tarnish your name, but to make it impossible for you to clear it. But there is one thing they underestimate. Truth has a strength that deception cannot match. A lie may travel fast, but it is weak at its core. It requires constant reinforcement, repeated manipulation, and ongoing effort to maintain. Truth, on the other hand, does not need to be shouted. It stands firm on its own. So how do you fight back when someone is spreading lies about you? First, stay calm. Do not give them the reaction they seek. Panic and desperation only fuel their narrative. Instead, let your actions speak louder than their words. Continue to show up, to work hard, and to be consistent in your values. Second, trust in time. People who rely on deception often overplay their hand. They weave so many lies that eventually inconsistencies emerge. Those who truly know you, who see your actions over time, will begin to question the whispers they once believed. Third, strengthen your connections. Lies thrive in isolation. If you have strong, genuine relationships, those who truly matter will not be so easily swayed. Keep your integrity intact, and those who are worth keeping in your life will see through the deception. The person who seeks to destroy you through whispered lies fears one thing most, that you will rise despite their efforts. And when you refuse to break, when you refuse to let their falsehoods define you, you strip them of their power. Remember, they may try to steal your truth, but they can never take the essence of who you are. That remains yours, and yours alone. The final blow is never random. A person who wants to destroy you doesn't act impulsively. Their goal isn't just to see you struggle, it's to strike when the damage will be permanent, when you're at your weakest, and when recovery seems impossible. They wait, they watch, and they choose their moment carefully. Think about the moments in your life when you felt the most vulnerable. Times of personal loss, career setbacks, emotional exhaustion, or even when you were on the verge of success. These are the moments when a true adversary makes their move, not out of coincidence, but by design. They don't just want to harm you, they want to ensure you don't get back up. This kind of enemy is not interested in small, meaningless attacks. They invest in the long game, waiting for the perfect storm, when you are isolated, uncertain, or at a critical turning point. That's when they strike. They might sabotage an opportunity right before it becomes a breakthrough, a promotion, a business deal, or an important event, something you've worked for tirelessly, only to see it crumble due to their interference. Use personal struggles against you, making sure the world sees your pain as weakness rather than resilience. If you're going through something difficult, they won't offer support. Instead, they will make sure others question your stability, your competence, or your trustworthiness. Turn your own words and actions into weapons, ensuring that any misstep, no matter how minor, is amplified to its worst possible interpretation. They don't need to create a scandal, they just need to frame something in the right way for people to assume the worst. Ensure that when you fall alone. By eroding your relationships before making their final move, a destroyer knows that isolation is the key to a lasting defeat. But here's where they miscalculate. They assume that when they deliver the final blow, you will stay down. They underestimate the strength that comes from adversity, the wisdom that comes from betrayal, and the resilience of someone who refuses to be defined by the schemes of others. So how do you prepare for the inevitable moment when they make their move? First, expect it. If you recognize the signs, you'll know it's not an accident. It's a strategy. The more aware you are, the less impact their final move will have. Second, stay grounded in your truth. When someone seeks to dismantle your life, they rely on confusion and self-doubt to do most of the work. If you know who you are and what you stand for, their attacks will not shake you. Third, have a support system that is built on trust. When the time comes, you don't want to be standing alone. A network of real allies will see through deception and manipulation. Never give them the satisfaction of your destruction. The most powerful response to someone who tries to break you is to rise stronger than before. They expect you to be shattered, to be defeated, to lose yourself in the chaos they've created. Prove them wrong, because in the end, the final blow is only final if you allow it to be.